So time for our first chat of the new year with the Chief Minister, Mr. Bell. Happy New Year.
Happy New Year to you.
How was it? Did you have some time off? Because you were talking beforehand that you keep on top of things.
Yes, I had a few days off over Christmas and New Year, which was a nice relaxing change from the normal pressures. So yeah.
Okay. Well, we're back with this document, Allan Government, an agenda for change.
Yes.
This is going to be put to Tynwald, is it?
Yes. It's really evolved out of the previous practice of producing a government plan at the end of or the start of each autumn, October and November Tynwald. Over the years, that document has got very, very heavy. It's got to the point of really almost being impenetrable for many people. It was covering so many different issues. It was hard to actually focus on what the real priorities and the real areas of activity were likely to be. And also, it was impossible to judge whether there was any success or delivery of many of those aspirations, and certainly no indication of any failure. So what we are hoping to do this time is introduce this new document. It's a much slimmed down document. It's building in part on the initial Agenda for Change statement, which I made in Tynwald in October. And it also sits alongside then the Scope of Government report and the work that's being done there. Those two, as they progress, will feed into a new website which we intend to produce probably in the next few weeks, which will give a living update as to the progress of these initiatives and identify the success and, in fact, the failure of many of these initiatives. So it'll be a much more transparent, open and accessible document in the round than we've ever had before, I hope.
It's plausible what you're saying. I mean, you're putting yourself up there now to be knocked down. I mean, you're going to have some backbenchers who will take delight in saying you haven't hit.
Yes, no doubt there will be backbenchers whose political career rests on criticising and attacking government. What I'm trying to do is deliver what I promised at the outset, that the government would be more transparent, it would be more open to scrutiny than it's been in the past, and we want to engage the public as best we can in the work that government is carrying on.
If I was working for a big company, I'd say this is like a mission statement, which sometimes is just a load of words which they have on the wall and you're meant to, what I'm saying here.
Yes.
How do you translate this from this document actually into reality?
The initial detail behind those headings is actually contained in that document as well. But there is a need, I fully accept then, for more meat to be put on the bone than appears there. And that ultimately is going to feed through the website. That will be a lot more detailed in identifying the priorities and the current work streams which are taking place. And so you'd need to look in this whole exercise in the round, the Scope of Government report, the Agenda for Change and the website to be able to get then a clear idea of the details that we're trying to achieve.
Well, we'll see how this goes and we'll chat more then. Mr. Shimon, Minister Shimon, good news today. He's telling us we're still in growth.
Yes, we estimate at the moment that the Allan economy is still growing at around about 3% net, which is still one of the fastest, if not the fastest growing economy in Europe. And when you put that alongside Jersey and Guernsey, for example, Jersey has been in recession for 4 years. It's still in recession now. They've just lost 150 new jobs, jobs lost this week.
This is Play.com shutting down the operation.
That's right. Guernsey's in recession as well. So if you put that as the backcloth to the Allan's position, we are doing very, very well at the moment. And of course, alongside that, unemployment is still very low.
Yeah, but it sort of went up a little bit, didn't it? I think the last time.
Well, it went up 6 last month, yeah. but it's still 2.3%. It's still a very, very manageable level. Clearly, we would like to see that figure drop lower, but we're still doing very well in comparison to 8-9% figures in the area surrounding us.
So, I like my 1 to 10s. Where are we? You on course? Is this a 10? Everything's going to plan?
Well, I think we are very much in line at where we expect it to be. You'll have the budget next month. That will give an update on the fiscal position, but I think it's fair to say that we are pretty much on target where we expect it to be on the rebalancing, which is quite an achievement in itself, given the level of challenge this last year. We've managed to keep the economy growing. There is still new business coming in. We still are diversifying. There's new ideas being suggested. So in that sense, that's working well too. The changes, the rebalancing, or the impact of rebalancing, obviously is now starting to be felt by the wider public. It's very unfortunate, and certainly many of the areas of change will be unpopular. But these are stages which we predicted we would have to go through to ultimately achieve the rebalancing that we need to make. And so even in that area, we are where we expected to be.
And yet the ramifications of the UK and things still has an impact. I mean, Reader's Digest, just the other day, 15 jobs possibly going to go there. I mean, this was a nice little business, wasn't it, for Allan Post?
It was, and it generated a very substantial amount of profit, and that in itself will have an impact, obviously, not just on the 15 jobs, which very sadly we will have to lose, but it will also have an impact on the financial dividend which the Post Office pays to Treasury. So that will be a further probably £750,000 that we will have to find now as part of our rebalancing exercise, really from now on.
Finally, just going back to buses, there's talk now they want binding arbitration. It's got these two sides, and it seems now they're not going to have any sort of way in between. No. Is it time for you to start banging heads?
The clear message, and I don't know how more clear I've got to make it, is that we are in exceptionally difficult fiscal times in terms of balancing government's budgets.
I'm asking you, are you going to get involved?
We have put a requirement on the department to find 300,000 savings this year.
And you have made this clear, you have. But are you going to get involved?
No, I will not be involved in this. This is for the department to set out. The strike now appears to be being directed from London, not from the Isle of Man, with a body of people who do not know the pressures that the Isle of Man is under at the moment. They do not seem to understand the sacrifices that large sections of the workforce have already had to make in terms of wage freezes, and their own terms and conditions changes. So there is no possibility of binding arbitration at this stage. We want to see these £300,000 savings. If we cannot make those savings, there is only one other route, and that is unemployment for some of the workforce.
Okay, well, we'll leave it there. Thanks for joining us.
My pleasure.